For me, I think it's going to be our roads and infrastructure. That's one thing that I'm looking at. Just right here below you down here at College Street a few weeks ago, we had a washout, road closure. And I'm a retired guy from the DOT, so I kind of look at a lot of things around the city and see things that can be done to our streets, our sidewalks, a lot of our public right-of-way. So that's one thing I'd like to look at. And then another topic is of course the $20 car tax that we have. I'm opposed to that. I want to see it. Let's get rid of it, but I've got a plan in hand where we can go back and recoup those fees and possibly a little more, on top of what that generated.
Single most pressing issue, I would say, would be housing. And of course we have an issue with, I think our budget's too big down here for the size city, approximately 16,000 to 17,000 population. Our budget for Morganton is as big as City of Lenore's and City of Shelby's combined. And I think that's an issue that needs to be addressed because this is a poor city. It's not very wealthy, so but we also have a housing issue too. That's another problem, like I stated, but I think that's more foremost right there.
I think the most important issue to address at this time is human needs, meeting the needs of the homeless, people that are indigent, people who have mental illnesses. As we all know, that these are the types of things that lead to crime. And I really feel like if we take time and address some of those issues, it'll cut down on crime and many other things. Plus, it's meeting human needs. I'm all about meeting human needs.
I think the single most pressing issue is our economic development. I think we continue every day to compete with other cities and towns. I think economic growth and development is key. I think we have to continue to support a broad base of economic development in our city, which includes small businesses, entrepreneurship, our younger generation who rely on high-speed broadband service, which Compass provides. Tourism is part of that. I think we've got to continue looking to grow and attract business, but we have to look at a broad base of business that helps make us recession-proof. And I think everybody reaps the benefits if we can continue to grow.
Issue, I guess I would maybe call it opportunity and issues around that opportunity. And I think that we really need to continue to address the issues of the School for Science and Math, and not just the school coming in, but what will eventually come in as a result of that. Meaning, I foresee in 5-10 years after the school is here that we're going to be getting innovative businesses, innovative manufacturing that really follows this kind of school, this kind of brain power that happens. So we need to be prepared for that. Housing, of course, is a huge issue with the influx of the School for Science and Math, as well as the addition to Continental Tevis right now. As a realtor, we're finding a shortage of houses. I just came from the Realtors meeting, and the Housing Summit folks, the leadership team, are applying for grants so we can get a concrete study of what we really need and what we need to move forward in order to make sure that we have enough housing, both affordable housing as well as housing for people who are coming in.
Well, certainly in talking with a lot of people, a lot of citizens of Morgan and voters, taxpayers, and I talk with a lot of those every day. And some people might think of this as being sort of a petty issue, but it's not with a lot of people, so it's got to be important. And that's the car fee that was put on to take the place of losing the privilege tax, franchise tax, whatever. But I've yet to talk to any voter whatsoever, any citizen, that said that they was in favor of keeping that. Everybody seems to be opposed to that. Now, and this is the way I look at it. You know, if you'll indulge me just a little bit here, I kind of like to use metaphors sometimes, but a fee is about a double first cousin to a flea. And you know, if you discover you've got one flea, in all probability, it ain't going to be long till you're going to have a lot of fleas. Same with fees. When fees are put on, most of the time they don't come off. And they tend to multiply. And we've, over the years, we've kind of multiplied those in different ways, different things. But that fee, a $20 fee, doesn't sound like a lot of money, and it really isn't to some folks. You know, if you're driving a $50,000 or $60,000 automobile, another $20 probably don't mean much to you. But what if you're the working man out here and he's driving say a $1,000 vehicle or a $1,500 or $2,000 vehicle, or maybe it's just a vehicle that he bought years ago he bought it new, and he likes that car and wants to keep it, and that's the reason he has an old vehicle. But any way you look at it, when an automobile gets age on it, you know, the tax value really goes down on it. And he may not be paying over $3, $4, $5, $6 a year tax on that car, and yet he's got a $20 fee imposed on him. So that's some of the stuff that I hear and from the people. And being a people-oriented person, I definitely like to listen. I think I am a good listener. And when you listen and you take information in, then that's what you act on. And that's the reason that I've come out definitely opposed to this fee. And once again, as far as I can find out, this is one of the more hot button issues in this campaign. There are really not that many per se, but this would be number one, I think.
I guess being a citizen of Morganton. I mean, at Morganton, people ask me why do I want to run for city council. I said, I don't have any agendas. I don't have any personal things that I'm looking for other than just try to maintain our streets and do. My dad was Walt Hennessee. He was with Morganton Hardware, and when I tell people about Morganton Hardware, they say, "Oh yes, we remember it." Here and there. I said, "No." I said the original Morganton Hardware, when I was a kid raised up, was in where Yanni's is now. And people said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." I said, "I mean, I stayed there, So I was raised there, and then he was a volunteer fireman for 32 years with Morganton Fire Department. So that's where I'm going back and looking at things, the way Morganton's been to my family, been to me. And, I've attended our schools. I'm a graduate of Freedom High School. I graduated in '75, attended Western Piedmont. And as I said, I'm retired from Department of Transportation. I had the opportunity here to work here locally in Morganton, so I was a 32-year employee there. I was in the 9th grade, I was a Civitan Young Citizens Award winner. My dad was on the first ball team that played at Morganton High School, and I was on the last ball team that played at Morganton High School. I was a manager with Morganton and Freedom basketball teams and the football teams when Freedom got started. A good friend of mine, Norman Brenneman, at that time was the first Booster Club member at Freedom High School. We worked together at Morgan Hardware, and I helped Norman do a lot of events over at Freedom to get things going over there. So like I say, Morganton's been a great place. The downtown, you know, it's growing. You know, geographically, Morganton is about the same as it was. I mean, it's been for 60 years, you know, pretty much, you know, but I'm not talking about your Walmarts and that stuff, but just everything right here in the downtown area is pretty much like it's been all the years. We just had a lot of facade changes and things like that, but you know, like I say, Morganton's a great place. It's been good to me, and I'm just proud of Morganton and proud to be a part of it, and hope that I'll be able to serve the citizens of Morganton in the capacity as a city councilman.
All right. Thank you. That's it.
Well, I'm proud of being a correctional officer. I apply myself to the job. I won Correction Officer of the Year in 2012, and I put pride in my job.
I'm going to be honest, I've done a lot of things that I'm proud of. But one thing that sticks out in my mind specifically is all the programs I've volunteered on, the way I have gone to the streets and talked with people. I have helped them to access resources. I have personally financially assisted those in need. And I think that's one of the proudest things that come to mind.
Being a father, I'm very family oriented. I prioritize my family. That's why I'm running. I see my oldest daughter graduated from high school this past June. My youngest daughter is a sophomore in high school. I think this is a wonderful place to live, a wonderful place to raise a family and to work. And I told my wife, I said, you know, they're going to be somewhere. They're going to work somewhere. They're going to be a part of some community. You know, why not here? We think it's a great place, and I like for this to be a place that they can and would want to come to. But I guess being a dad is probably the thing that I'm most proud of.
I think what I'm currently doing, I'm the most proud of. For 7 years, I was the executive director of the nonprofit group United Way. And after I retired from there, I chose to put my energy in Burke Recovery. I had been serving on the prescription drug task force prior to that. I was not on the board, I was just serving on that task force. And this opioid epidemic that is all over the country is very, very prevalent in this community. You know, children are being born addicted to opioids. The social services of this community are overworked. They don't have the money to be able to serve the population that is now addicted to opioids. Learning that the fact that these synthetic opioids actually change the physiological bodies of the people that are taking them has taken my perception of an addict to a different direction, and addressing it in a physiological way, and trying to figure out what those baby steps are to try to curb this epidemic, because it's affecting families, it's affecting communities, and it's affecting budgets, you know, type of thing. It's affecting our workforce. It is surprising if you talk to human relations directors how many people that apply for work cannot work there because they don't pass. You know, so I'm very proud that I have chosen to spend my time not only serving as a board member and making decisions, but also learning and trying to pass the word on about this epidemic, because as I probably was in the beginning, you know, I thought they're just making really bad choices and it's affecting too many people. They made a bad choice in the beginning, but part of it is that they have no control because it's a physiological change. So we need more funding for mental health and for opioid addiction treatment.
Well, I've ran my own business for over a half a century, different businesses, and I've been very well blessed in that. Been successful, so I do understand business-wise what it means to have to live within a budget, to make a budget and live within it, and to persevere. I think it takes a lot of perseverance to be successful. And if you persevere in most any endeavor, if you put enough effort into it, then that's going to bring a measure of stability. And that's two words that I really like, is perseverance and stability. And I think that all people really, that's what everyone craves, or what they want in life, is they want to be stable. They want to have that stability in their lives. And of course, another word that we could use would be dedication. It certainly takes a lot of dedication, and that would sort of intertwine with the word perseverance.